Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 28th of April. My name's Phillip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Well, are you Gary Peer? Because
I am.
you spent some time out of the chair, Gary, and quite frankly, last week we had Darren Crongold. The week before it was Adam Joski.
Yes, it was.
This week you've kind of blessed yourself with our presence. No, you've blessed ourselves with your presence, have you?
I am the G from GPTV, Phillip, and you're the P.
Well, that's a good point.
So it is good to be back, Phillip. I've had a bit of a journey of self-discovery, Phillip, and I've got to tell you, I didn't like what I found, so I decided to come back to work.
I was about to say, if you went on a journey of self-discovery, it would be probably quite shocking what you would discover about yourself, Gary. Because,
found myself and decided better get back to work quickly.
Sometimes when people go under the therapy process, they look inside the window of their soul and all of a sudden they realise they don't like what they're looking at.
The blinds were shut, Phil. So it's back to work, back to real estate, and so much happening as we wrap up our April and we get involved in our busiest May on record, Philip.
Well, Gary, whilst we're not going to go through your itinerary day by day, and you've tried to deflect a conversation about where you've been, viewers might like to know that Gary's been in Eastern Europe.
I have, Philip.
Somewhat of a roots project, perhaps tracing his roots back
to
the early 18th century.
And they found out about me and threw me out.
When Gary came from quite a learned family, but clearly the generations haven't been kind to the peers because they've been dumbed down somewhat, really.
Haven't they? Quite a bit. All the way to sitting with you as a real estate agent, Phil, producing this show.
Yeah, when they write the family history, the modern chapter will be the chapter
that missed out the dark ages.
Go, yes, that's what happens.
The dark era of the family tree. Philip, let's get back to talking about real estate because so much to discuss. And happy Anzac Day. Can I say that?
A lot. No, you can't. A lot happened while you were away, Gary, because when you left, April was looking quite ordinary. But under the guiding hand of the one and only Phillip Kingston, we were able to turn a somewhat ordinary April into actually quite a dynamic and great April.
I think it's our best on record, Philip, I'm not mistaken.
Which you'd be pleased to see, Gary, given the fact that I was witness to some of your spending while you're away. Just as well, you've got a partner that keeps his shoulder to the grindstone.
Got 30 days to pay, Phil, so I've got to get moving. You do some business now very quickly.
So April was good, Gary.
It was.
It
was a very strong month.
Great auction yesterday. I know we're completely out of order here, but we did that while you were away. A great auction yesterday in Briggs Street. 150 people were taken indoors because it was a wet and ordinary day. But joyously we sold in what we've called the Glass House. We sold that. Price is undisclosed, unfortunately, but passed in and successfully negotiated significantly higher for those of you that were there.
And no stones were thrown there, Philip, because you just don't do that in glass houses, do
you?
Prior to that, Philip, there was an auction in Kooyong Road. It was my return auction. It was wonderful to be back. Speakers didn't work, but it was an internal auction, so that's okay. They're going to be working for this weekend. But, Philip, that was sold for an undisclosed price. But it was certainly an interesting auction.
I like that building, corner of Kooyong Road and Beresford Street. It's got a kind of really timeless look, great 60s architecture.
Delightful vendor and a buyer well known to our company, also delightful. So congratulations to buyer and seller alike. Phil, it is Tuesday, of course, and if you're seeing this in the afternoon or evening, right now, while you're watching, we are on the block, Phil.
We are.
So
we're going to go from here to the block.
We are going to be knocking off the block, we hope. So stay tuned because next week we'll have a little bit of information about the block, won't we, Phil?
We will. Lips are sealed at the moment though, Gary.
In the meantime, Phil, we have a very big weekend of auctions to review, Philip David Kingston. I've got to tell you there are 16 auctions over 11 suburbs and then we're going to talk about where we are.
That's a big weekend.
How good is this property, Phil?
Do you know what? I'm going to talk about where we are right now, Gary.
You're just going to go out of order because you've been left in a very undisciplined way without me here.
I got a lot of feedback about the show, Gary, while you were away. They were loving the unstructured approach.
Who was they?
They were saying that your Austrian, somewhat Germanic approach to things, which is very orderly, very considered. And they were saying the great feedback I had was that they just loved the chaotic process that I'm capable of.
And who was that feedback from?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Anyway, here we are in Corinna Crescent. Special shout out to the owners of this house who are favourite clients and friends of ours who have done many, many real estate projects, but I'm proud to say I reckon this is their best to date. And they've had some very successful projects, Gary, but this is a house that they bought, they moved into, they rebuilt it and crazily enough lived through the process. And congratulations to the entire family for being sucked into that one.
Well, we have some history here, Phil, because we sold this many years ago for the family of Justice Ray Finkelstein, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not mistaken,
That was
Gary.
quite some time ago, and of course it changed hands again since then, but now it's found itself in the hands of these delightful vendors who have done, Philip, the most extraordinary
Gary,
recreation.
This is not a recreation. This is an entire rebuild as far as I'm concerned. Somebody said to me the other day, is it a renovation?
Is there anything left of the old house?
Well, the things that they left were the things that you won't find in property anymore, which is solid brick walls.
Yes.
So this was a solid brick 70s house, and they demolished a lot of it,
Yes.
and then they expanded upon it, then they put on the top story.
Yes.
So I mean,
and then they put a cherry on top.
I personally think that this is a brand new house, but the lawyers that watch this show would probably say, if I say it's brand new, they're going to argue that the old brick walls that are the most solid things out stop this from being a brand new house.
Back to court for you, Mr. Kingston.
I would say that this, in my opinion, is better than brand new.
I think we can say that, Philip, without any
because it's an opinion, lawyers. You know, it's not
a
facts,
warranty.
It's an opinion,
not a representation.
Correct.
So take us through this house, Philip, because it's going to auction on Sunday week, Philip,
this is
at
a
12:30.
big family home. Last weekend, I dropped into the open for inspection here, Gary. We had in excess of 120 people. It was like Grand Central Station here.
Buzzing.
And I've got to tell you, as I said on GPTV last week, the definition of good property is when you look around and seeing all the people trying to, in a very coy way, take photographs of everything without us seeing. And of course, we do see you.
And cameras are a funny place, Philip. There sometimes they're under the shirt, some at the back, they're over the shoulder.
But when people are
we
taking
know all those
photos,
tricks, don't we, Phil?
when people are taking photos, you know it's a great house. The pool here, this incredible back garden, back room that overlooks the garden with this wonderful north and western
I'm loving all the
aspect.
glass here, Phil, all the light. It's magnificent.
And the polished boards.
Yes.
And, funnily enough, one of my favourite rooms, Gary, is the powder room. Why, you might ask? Because it's just so schmick.
It is, Phil.
Yeah.
If you're going to hang out in the powder room, the one in this house is the one to do it, Phil. You can pay for the powder room, get the rest of the package for free.
And what a great address, Corinna Crescent, walking distance to High Street, Glenferrie Road, Carlisle Street, trams on your doorstep, Malvern Railway Station, a short stroll up the Alma Road Hill. So everything going for it, and this is going to be a great family purchase for somebody.
And Philip, it goes under the hammer with yours truly over there, auctioning on Sunday week at 12:30 p.m. Sure to be a feature auction that weekend.
Come along to this auction because we'll have balloons, we'll have party hats, we'll have a coffee van. It'll be a celebration of
dancing
great...
girls?
We might. It'll be a celebration of great
dancing men.
Let's move on, Garrett. It's enough about here.
All right, Philip, we did say earlier a big weekend upcoming. We have 11 suburbs covered, Philip. We are going all the way from Cheltenham to Hawthorn and everywhere in between. Shall we review our auctions?
We shall. Let's start with the first.
Okay. Phil, we start off in Cheltenham. I've got the pleasure of doing the auction 10:30 a.m. bright and early, Phil.
You do, Gary.
Tell us about this home in Wilson Street.
It's a lovely renovated family home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking and a garage for 2 cars. That is off-street car parking for 2 cars, not a garage for 2 cars.
Yes, Phil.
But glossy because you've got beautiful marble bench tops, granite bench tops, polished timber floorboards, a designer garden. You just got to love that back garden.
You know, you reviewed that like a race call. It was like, here we are, Flemington, we're getting to the mountain yard, and we're down the straight and down the outside. You did this very much so. Phil, in Carnegie, we're at 29 Elamata Road. We're going to be there at 11:30 a.m. Please review this for us.
I love the name of this street, Elamata. 29 Elamata Road, Carnegie.
Elamata rhymes with doesn't matter.
It does matter though,
That's
Gary,
right.
because it does matter that this is an important auction. 650 square metres of prime land, together with a very livable and a very lettable 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. You could obviously do a development there subject to council approval, or fix up the house, or put it in your investment portfolio and go forward and prosper.
I have the auction honours. I'm meeting Elsa Schilling, the lovely Elsa Schilling at that auction. I'm looking forward to it. Phil, there is a bite-sized investment opportunity, or perhaps first home buy, in Halstead Street in Caulfield North. I like this very much. Take us through it.
Bite-size, you may say, Gary. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1-car space. And Halstead Street is a great spot to buy an investment. Why, the viewers might be asking, because it's walking distance to shops and to public transport. And those are the things tenants always are looking for. And this is 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1-car space. But I did say that. Polished timber floorboards. That's a good property.
Rochelle, Phil, is the name of the building that this property is situated in. And we're in Shelley Street, Elwood, with Mr. Jeremy Rosen's doing the auction of this wonderful older style apartment. Talk us through it.
Well, you say Rochelle, Gary. I say Rochelle. And all I can say also about this is that's about as picture perfect postcard. That's about as postcard
perfect.
It's picture perfect anyway.
Yeah, it's postcard picture perfect.
It's what we would
picture
describe
postcard
as
perfect.
Spanish Mission collides with Art Deco. and that's 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. But if you're looking for a property that we just believe will appreciate in value over time, those older style properties in small buildings, Gary.
No one expects a Spanish mission, do they, Philip? We're going off to Hawthorn, Philip. I'm going to be moving my little car along the road, Phil, from Cheltenham to Carnegie to Hawthorn. I'm going to be with Elsa again in Maidstone Street in Hawthorn East.
You're going from Cheltenham to Hawthorn.
I'm stopping in Carnegie on the way, Phil,
okay, no
because
problems,
I'm that sort of person.
I'm thinking to myself, if you've got an hour in between those auctions, you're going to be punching it out far.
I would have to have my own private helicopter, and I don't yet, Phil, unfortunately.
No.
But
a man like you should.
I
you
should
would go
Phil.
with your private jet,
wouldn't
your
it?
boat, and your island in the Caribbean.
Need to find all those things, but you keep hearing about them, but I haven't seen them yet. Phil, Maidstone Street, Hawthorn East is actually owned by a family that are former real estate agents. It's always a pleasure to sell for people in our industry, Phil.
We're a bit of the...
we're the agents,
Gary. We sell so often
we do.
other agents.
It's
and the reason that we're
great
talking about that is
honour.
it's the ultimate compliment to an agency.
Great
where
honour.
Other real estate agents that are not employed by us.
Yes.
It's a great compliment where other agents who are great judges of who's good and who's not, when they choose us to sell, it's a compliment.
Or they're poor judges, but we've got them all fooled.
Yeah.
Phil,
We've had too many agents use us
That's
for
right.
them to have poor judgment.
I
mean,
so,
one
Phil.
or two of them might have.
No, Phil.
You couldn't say the whole.
We are the agent's agent, and we get to sell this wonderful apartment. Take us through. This is just off Burke Road, Phil. Great position there, Camberwell, or Hawthorn East, really.
Fantastic position. This has got a lovely garden, leafy aspect. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a car space, and that's been beautifully renovated. That's a good property. You've got to love that kitchen, Gary. Very schmick.
It's a beauty, Philip. Leor Samuel is heading up to North Road, Philip, at 12:30, and to sell this wonderful property. Check this one out.
Yeah, great facade on that, Gary, and 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, parquetry floors, immaculate inside, and a great location there too, because you're walking distance to the tram, where Hawthorn Road hits North Road, Gary. Nice little group of shops, some cafes. Very handy, convenient position.
We've done 6 auctions on Saturday, Phil. Have not seen or heard from you as an auctioneer yet.
Am I not working on Saturday?
You are, Phil. You're starting off in Remuera Street, or road, I should say, Remuera Street in Caulfield South. This is a terrific looking property. You're doing this for Mr. Jeremy Rosens and his vendor at 12:30.
And for those of you that are interested, Remuera is a suburb in Auckland.
And a prestige one,
It's
Phil.
probably the Toorak of Auckland,
It is, Phil.
Remuera is.
Indeed.
In fact, we were invited to a conference some months ago where we spoke to some people that run an agency in Remuera.
A big one.
It was interesting, very interesting. Anyway, this Remuera Street in Caulfield South's got nothing to do with New Zealand.
No, it hasn't.
But it is a great family home with 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, off-street car parking, and beautiful back room, beautiful polished timber floorboards, and a beautiful deck area. A very, very schmick house.
Jeremy Rosens.
That's the second time I've used the word schmick, but it's an appropriate word.
It's a schmick episode, Phil. At 1:30, we're selling a schmick apartment on Dandenong Road. Jeremy Rosens auctioning this one for Leon. Take us through it, please.
Well, we love Dandenong Road, Gary. I don't think any agency in Melbourne would sell more property on Dandenong Road than we do. No. That's 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and that one has a lock-up garage, which is a very rare thing to find in a 1 bedroom apartment. That's just a great entry into the marketplace. Good spot, good property, good investment. Is good.
We're back in Carnegie at 2:30 p.m. Philip, you are...
How much, so I'm going to cut you off here, how much do we love Carnegie, and how much is our new Carnegie office just thumping?
Flying.
Shout out to the Samuel brothers and the entire team.
Those Samuel brothers, they're like the old days in the westerns where someone just came into town.
You know what, the Samuel brothers have come to Carnegie.
Riding into town. High on the horse.
What a great job they are doing, and it's just a privilege and a pleasure now to have our Carnegie office thumping, and we will do GPTV from the Carnegie office soon.
It's time, Philip. At 2:30, Leo does this auction in Mimosa Road. That's a great address. Take us through this terrific villa.
Well, we love Mimosa,
townhouse,
and that's a great location. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a lock-up garage. Great spot, great suburb, great architecture, great way to get yourself into the market.
And that rounds out a Saturday, Phil. You've only got the one auction on, so you'll have some nice coffee and do some good support work around the traps, I'm presuming?
I'm going to take an opportunity to have some R&R, Gary. If I'm only doing one auction.
You do that, you deserve it. Sunday morning, Phil, you can have a little sleep in because I'm the auctioneer starting off there at Alma Road. You've got a slightly later start, but take us through this wonderful property. I know it's been popular, and Arlene Joffe brings this one to the market.
And how well, by the way, is Arlene doing?
She's doing great. She's a lovely lady.
Really
She's doing terrifically well.
She's been with us now, what,
hardworking, genuine,
Been with
and
us
friendly.
18
Phillip.
months or
She's
something?
authentic.
Yep, she is. But no, she's really, when you get into real estate,
Yep.
it takes you a while to get up and running.
Yep.
And she is now just thumping. So
hit
special
her
shout out
strides.
to Arlene because you're doing a wonderful job. This is a lovely apartment, Gary. I like this a lot. 3 bedrooms, which is very hard to find a 3-bedroom apartment. 1.5 bathrooms and car parking for 2 cars.
With a courtyard, Phillip.
So this is just great. It's really a town residence.
It is.
It's not
It
an
is.
apartment. It's
Not
a town
really
residence.
I think it's an insult. to call it
Walking
apartment.
distance to our office
Yeah.
too, and
What's that worth?
Well, you can drop in any time you want and take
right.
a Mentos off our counter.
Exactly right.
So
We're
if you
generous
don't,
agents, aren't
if you
we?
don't have great breath,
That's it.
to buy walking distance to our
We'll
office
clean
is
you
great.
up. We'll clean you up and give you that sparkling ring of confidence. Phillip, there's nothing that could give you more confidence than this magnificent older style apartment in Sidwell Avenue. I love this block, Phillip. It's extraordinary. It was featured in The Age on Saturday. There was a big write-up on it, Phil.
And how, just speaking Saturday's Age,
Yes.
we
were all
scored-
over it, weren't
Well,
we?
I've got to tell you, we had an article about Charles Justin and his art and architecture.
Yes.
That was page 20 of the early General
It
News,
was.
half a page.
Yes.
Then we had an
What's that got to do with us,
That
by
we
the
had an editorial because we're selling his house.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then we had an editorial on his property in Wairoa Road. Then we had an editorial about a property at 20A Kooyong Road.
did. That's
We
gonna
had
be
an
on Channel 10, that
Had
one.
an editorial about Sidwell Avenue. So
And-
we're just
and
getting
here
some
is
great,
Sidwell
we're
Avenue,
getting
Phil.
some great. You don't have to hold up the brochure.
Well, I thought I
You
might.
fool! That's just the most amazing building. Some real history to that building. I don't know what the history is, but there must be some amazing
there is some history, Phillip.
because it sits high on the hill in Sidwell Avenue. And we shot last week with Jeremy Rosen's The Bayside Report.
St Kilda
there.
Report, yes, we
just
did.
a beautiful building.
That one's up at 11:30 on Sunday, Phil. While Jeremy conducts that auction, you are doing this interesting property, Phillip. It's had a lot of exposure. And
A lot of exposure.
And he's been all over Channel 10.
Well, if you call a lot of exposure, Gary, 60 episodes on Channel 10 with the home team.
Is that right?
And a special shout out to the producers of that show who
Yes.
are doing the most amazing things with television. But that is a great house, and they've transformed what was a 1950s cream brick home, and they have just transformed it unbelievably. It's incredible, and we're very proud to be the auctioneers of that property.
That's at 11:30 a.m. Phil, I'm going to join you in Kooyong Road. Looking forward to seeing you there. At 12:30, I'm going to have to leave you though because I've got an auction around the corner in Kelburn Street in Caulfield North. Take us through this wonderful, beautiful, period style, semi-detached,
Gary,
one of a pair.
Gary, I'm going to let the television or whatever you're
The
watching
show,
the show speak for itself. What I want to talk about is the incredible street, Kelburn. To be able to get a house under $2 million in that street is a rarity.
Even under $1.5 million.
Kelburn is a great street, great property, and it would be a real privilege to own that property.
Phil, Long Street, Elstonwick is one of my absolute favourite Elstonwick streets. I lived just a couple of doors down not long ago. Phil, we are auctioning number 13 Long
Quite
Street.
a short street though, isn't it? I mean, to call
Phil,
a short
it
street
is a
Long
short street.
Street.
Yeah, exactly right. It's been a little bit exaggerated, hasn't it?
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
go to the city of Glen Ira and say, listen.
Well, I think we should ring the ACCC.
Yes, we
misleading and deceptive conduct on
can't
behalf of
do
the
that,
city
man.
of Glen Ira.
Exactly right.
How can you call a short street Long Street?
Very inappropriate indeed, Philip. Take us through the home though. It's going up at 1:30 p.m. with you doing the auction.
Gary, this would have to have the most glamorous facade, and love, they say, is a double-fronted Victorian home.
you
Because
say.
every time you come home, you fall in love.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's
and
a
long
beautiful house, and it's just an extraordinary renovation. It's got the most magnificent floor plan. Works so beautifully well. This is a house that I'd love. I'd
magnificently
love to live in
presented.
that
Me
house.
too.
And the position, walking distance to Glen Huntly Road.
The
just
buzz and
Get up in
hum.
the morning, say, "Darling, I'm going to get you a cup of coffee," and while he or she thinks that you have gone to the kitchen, what you've done is just whip up to Glen Huntly Road, choose from one of 30 cafes to buy the coffee, whip home, and present your darling with a latte. That's how easy and convenient that location is.
I'm not sure there's 30 cafes, Philip, and why are you talking about
I bet you there
representation?
is.
It probably is. Could be more even, or maybe close to it, but that's just a guess, estimate, not a representation. Philip, we move on to 77 Narrowong Road. That one comes up also on Sunday at 1:30. Jeremy Rosen's auctioneer. Tell us
Gary,
about
as
it.
Mark Twain, the famous American novelist, said many years ago, invest in land. They're not making any more of it. We've got 836 square metres of prime corner. So I think we're going to have a field day with developers wanting that corner, although it is a renovatable, lovely home.
We're going to work you hard on Sunday, Phillip. You're going to be doing another auction at 2:30 at 22 Clark Avenue. I love this home. Talk us through it.
Gary, this is perfection if you want my opinion, and you haven't asked for it, but I'm going to give it anyway.
I didn't want it.
That is a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, magnificent home in as new condition, complete with gorgeous swimming pool, double lock-up garage, every conceivable luxury. Somebody's going to be very lucky to be able to get the keys to that front door.
We wrap up Sunday, Phillip, at 3:30 p.m. with a property that's been very popular, and that is Unit 1 at 7 Newland Street, Caulfield. I know you've been involved in this property.
Gary,
tell us a little about it.
That is built the old-fashioned way, which is out of double brick, solid brick home that is in excellent condition, but really I think waiting for somebody to perhaps inject a bit of a 2015 overhaul, even though you can move straight into it. But that's a great property and a good position there too, really good position.
And that brings a close to the big week ahead, Phillip. We're off the rails, but we're on the block, and we're looking forward to bringing you a little bit of information about the block, because we hope we win the block, or our contestants that you have featured.
Jess and Aidan.
Lovely couple they are, and with all of the stuff that's going on, it's an exciting time, isn't it?
Gary, I'm
Plenty
excited
happening.
for the month of May, because May is going to be enormous in Melbourne.
Massive.
Lots of offerings, and I've got to tell you, this real estate market just continues to go from strength to strength. So
Big last weekend.
What a fun time to be a real estate agent.
100% clearance rate. Can I say that with 2 out of 2?
You can, Gary.
Okay,
We actually
fair
had 3 out of 3 because we
Oh,
sold
we
one
did.
before auction.
Oh, it makes it more legitimate, doesn't it, Phillip?
Gary, great to have you back.
Good to be back,
Viewers,
Phil.
look forward to seeing you next week. I'm Phillip Kingston.
Bye now, I'm Gary Peer.
Have a great week.